2021, Adidas presented their new business plan strategy called Own the Game. And based on their deep understanding of consumers and the authenticity of the Adidas brand, they aim to push the boundaries of products, experiences, and services. Increasing brand credibility, focus on sustainability, and mindset of endless innovation and digital transformation, they want significant growth. One of these endless innovation is, for example, Parley for the oceans. Parley Ocean Plastic is a very sustainable innovation of Adidas. In 2015, Adidas partnered up with the environmental organization Parley for the Ocean. And Parley Ocean Plastic, they use to produce parts of their clothes and shoes and their products. And it is an eco-innovative replacement for virgin plastic. So they introduced their own label for products that contain a certain amount of this plastic. It's called Prime Blue. And they produced more than 50 million pairs of shoes containing Parley Ocean Plastic. Me, myself, I own a windbreaker with Parley Ocean Plastic, which keep myself warm, dry, and light while running in the mountains. All right, to sum everything up, concerning entrepreneurship, first of all, the story of entrepreneur Adi Dassler, who was passionate and about his product and faced many struggles like world wars and poverty and much more. And his story about how he makes his brand the world-known brand with the 3 stripes. I think it's pretty impressive and very inspirational. And secondly, the endorsement of athletes in the customer-related fields is a very smart marketing idea. And of course, small businesses often, especially in the beginning, has not enough financial or the reputation to persuade top athletes. But I think as an early entrepreneur, you can copy this move and begin with talents or upcoming stars, sponsor them. And yeah, especially nowadays with social media, it's pretty easy, I think. Third point is the strategic business plan that includes all stakeholders, which is renewed and customized every 5 years. And I think it's very important that Adidas understands to integrate and think like customer, because the customer determines the business. And last point, pretty important thing, it's that Adidas able to combines innovation and sustainability in case of the Parley Ocean, like I said before. Well, that was everything I got to say about my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. And if someone has a question, please don't hesitate to ask. Thank you very much.
Thank you, speaker. It was a good presentation. I want to open up to questions from other students in the class. Anyone have any questions? If no one has a question, I'll start first anyway. In terms of Adidas, well, sports shoes or shoes in general, yeah?
Yep.
Did you know that Vietnam's pretty much the capital of the world when it comes to manufacturing shoes and sports shoes?
Yeah, of course. They have many factories in Vietnam, I think, around more than 100, I think, and in other Southeast Asian countries. So often when I buy stuff from Adidas, often I can see that's made from Vietnam or made from China or made from Philippines, or I don't know. So yeah, I already know that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Vietnam do have a substantial amount in terms of market shares. Currently, are you in Germany at the moment? How's the situation with COVID in Germany? I hear not so good things there.
Well, luckily I am right now. I'm in quarantine in Vietnam. I'm for 1 week. I fly to Vietnam, and now I'm in Saigon. So the COVID in Germany is the 4th wave is rolling, and I think around 60,000 infections per day, and they are nearly closed everything right now. So
I see. Good timing. You managed to escape.
The government pretty messed up, and now I'm escaping to Vietnam.
Yes, there's the change of government as well.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Who is next in the list? Let's see. It is Hong Min Hai An, who's going to be doing the body shop. Oh, I just saw no there. Let's just do this here. At the end of the talk, we will give score, okay? So initially, you get 5%, and then the class will give you score when we finish all the presentation. The class will give you your presentation quality scores at the end of the session. Okay, next on the list is Ngô Ngọc Thắng, who's going to be doing Apple. Are you there, Ngô Ngọc Thắng?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, please can you share your presentation?
Yes. You see my print?
Not yet, not yet. Okay, I can see it now.
Yeah, I will start now.
Okay.
Hello everyone, my name is Thảo. I'm so lucky that my topic was voted by most of you. As we know, Apple has a long journey to the world's most valuable $1 trillion empire. So today I will cover three main things. First, the general information about Apple company. Second, business challenges. Finally, Apple strategies. If you have any questions, please save them until the end of my presentation. Now, let's get started. To begin with some information about this company, Steve Moyer, Steve Jobs, and Ronald Way are founders of Apple and incorporated the company in 1977. The name of the company was Apple Computer, but in 2007, a company was renamed as Apple Inc., stand for Apple Incorporated. Is an American arts corporation headquartered in Cupertino, California. In its more than 14 years of existence, the company has 7 CEO positions, but only 2 CEO left most impression with the most interesting outstanding list, Steve Jobs and Tim Cook. They are the people whose company Apple launched and stand in the position it is today in the commercial arena. Now we turn into the second part, business challenges. In 1996, Apple was on the verge of bankruptcy. They were just like any other computer company in the US at the time. They were no different. After years of quarters opportunity, strategies versatile, and management hesitancy, Apple will suffer the consequences. The the Windows 95 operating system released by Microsoft overshadowed the technological giant of the market. Apple quickly returned to being the little guy in the computer industry with a shrinking market share, falling prices, and falling profits. Everyone thought Apple were going to end because during the early 1990s, the company was in inefficient management, make a lot of bad decisions, inconsistent strategy, and Apple had no brand idea. All employees in the company, including all the excellent employees, feel defeated. The inner dry and imaginative exhausted. But the surprise also comes. Steve Jobs joined Apple in 1997, and he determined the focus of rebuilding the company around the idea of the brand. Apple make technology so simple that everyone can be part of the future. In the markets that value advertise above all else, Steve Jobs follow the idea of customer is king, and his point to start off of think different. It's also what inspired me about this business. Next, we will discuss the strategy of Apple as well as what lesson I have learned in this company. First, define vision. Apple Apple wants to simplify technology so that everyone can access it. Build a loyal customer community and use this community as a communication channel. Second, prioritize resources. Apple invests and align everything around the idea of simplifying technology for everyone access. They can embody this idea in everything that matters: commercial positioning, communication, innovation, closing, and customer experience. Third, focus on the past opportunity. Apple sees opportunity in the technology markets when customers are apply to expertise and feel technology is too complex. Over the decades, Apple has maintained a vision strategies with clients and also attacked IBM in 1980 and Microsoft in 2005. Apple has always been loyal to the idea of customer is king. Next, take advantage of the resource. Apple tries to quickly update the latest technology and simplify them for customers to use. All of their routers, from desktop, laptop, phones, or tablets, can display symbol. Last, upgrade strategy. Apple continues to introduce products in the new category to loyal customer. This shows Apple is a brand love, favors customer experience with the high prices, large market share, abundant revenue and profits. That brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you for your attention, and here is the list of references.
Okay, thank you very much for interesting talk. I mean, your choice of Apple, in terms of size, Apple is on the other extreme. It's one of the largest, if not the largest company in the world. Whereas here in this particular course, we are looking at startup. So why or what inspired you, especially to do with entrepreneurship, to choose this particular topic?
Yeah, well, I personally think that Steve Jobs' leadership and his strategy have Apple overcome bankruptcy. Yes, because Apple is his bridal child. And when he returned to Apple, the company was faced with bankruptcy. All employees in this company, as well as talented employees, fell failure. No innovation and no help with this. However, think different. Champagne change everything and have Apple become increasingly successful until today. Yeah, I mean that Steve Jobs have a talent person, and he also have a right direction to praise his brand trial.
I think your generation is slightly different to my generation. We grow up with Apple and Microsoft and so on. I remember the time when Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs first started the business in their garage. So they were starting just two-man crew trying to put things together. And from there, they grew from a two-man in a garage doing electronic things to one of the biggest, if not the biggest company in the world. So if anything, they're, to me, I mean, slightly different to your generation. Maybe you kind of not grew up with Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, but at least my generation did, that they start from nothing to get where they are. So, I mean, for me, Apple is quite inspiring.
Yeah.
Any other question from any of the other students? No? Okay, next in the list, let me just check. Give me one moment. Wing of Tao, we just done yours. So Cao Huỳnh Minh An. Topic is Netflix.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, you can share, please share your presentation and you can start.
Yes. I'll wait for. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen, but I don't see your presentation.
You see it?
Okay. Yes, I can see it now.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to my presentation. Today, I will talk about Netflix. First, I will talk a little bit about Netflix history. Next, we will figure out how the Netflix make money. And the third, we will talk about business model of Netflix. And finally, I will talk about business segment. A bit about Netflix history. Netflix was established in 1997 by Reed Hastings and Mark Randolph in Scott Valley. It had over 139 million part subscriptions worldwide. Netflix started at very first in 1997 as a website service. During the time, it allowed people to rent DVDs online so that renter can get them through the email. While it competed to some extent with TV for people entertainment time, it was competing more directly with established video rental store. Netflix now, with global coverage, has more subscribers than all other streaming services combined. So, how does Netflix make money? Netflix is a subscription-based business model making money with three simple plans: basic, standard, and premium, giving access to stream series, movie, and show. The company is profitable. Yes, it runs on negative cash flow due to upfront cash paid for content licensing and original content production. Netflix is changing the way we consume traditional media, from series like Stranger Things or Black Mirror. Netflix have been able to become a titan of the media industry, with more than 150,000 members across the globe. With three simple subscription plans, Basic, Standard, and Premium from $8 to $14. Netflix has been able to become a multi-billion-dollar unicorn with more than 150 billion. And how the Netflix business model works? Through rapid change in technology, Netflix shifts its business model in grew exponentially, and they have gone from physical release to letting customers stream their favorite content anywhere at any time. Today, the platform has evolved streaming technology that have enhanced and improved Netflix overall business structure and revenue. This platform provides viewers with ability to stream and watch various TV shows, movies, documentary, and more through means of using a software application. In short, Netflix sells three simple kinds of subscription with a simple packaging and three subscription: basic, standard, and premium. You can get the streaming of all the available series, movie, and show available on the Netflix library. Currently, the subscription price varies from a base plan of $7.99 up to a premium plan of $15.99. Finally, I will talk about business segment. The business segment are the area of business that has a different financial logic and thus require a separate strategy. As of 2017, Netflix revenue were over $11 billion, with a strategic growth compared to just 2013, when the revenue passed $4 billion. If we look at the global picture, you can see how Netflix has more than 117,000 subscribers worldwide. The company has three business segments: domestic streaming, international streaming, and finally domestic DVD. For domestic streaming, it derives revenue from monthly membership fees for service consisting solely of streaming content to our members in the United States. And for international streaming, it derives revenue from monthly membership fees for service related to streaming content to members outside of the US in more than 190 countries. Finally, for domestic DVD, it derives revenue from monthly membership fees for service consisting solely of DVD by email. In 1990, Netflix switched from renting DVD to online subscription and paid monthly. This move has created a lot convenience for customers, completely reduced fee incurred, and streamlined management and operation of the business. Since launching the monthly subscription model in 1990, Netflix has reached 239,000 subscribers in its first year and quickly hit 1 million subscribers in 2003. Netflix currently generates about $15 billion annually, with $125 million paid members. With 125 million paid members from more than 190 countries. In 2000, Blockbuster was offered to buy Netflix and own its assets for just $50 billion. Today, Netflix is worth $155 billion in market capitalization. Through powerful tactics and accessibility innovation, Netflix has been successful in increasing the customer experience positively and becoming one of the biggest internet companies. So that's all for my presentation. Thank you for your listening. If you have any question, feel free to ask me.
Thank you very much for an interesting presentation. I will open up to questions from other students. Anyone has any question? If no one has a question, I have a few questions of my own. Very similar question to the previous speaker in the sense that Netflix now is quite a big company now, yeah, but what does it inspire you, especially when it comes to entrepreneurships?
Can you repeat the question?
What does Netflix, or how does Netflix inspire you when it comes to startup and entrepreneurship?
So can you give me a moment to think about your question?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. I mean, from my generation as well, Netflix kind of grew up with my generation.
I think in the past we only watched a movie on TV, and
Not necessarily. We watch it on cinemas as well, and on DVD and on VHS as well.
but Netflix make it more convenient for us to watch a movie because like if you watch it on TV, you have to like wait until the time that they show that movie to watch. But when we use Netflix, you can watch any movie at any time. Yeah, and you can watch your movie through any device like laptop or mobile phone.
But I mean, my question is, what does it, or how does Netflix inspire you when it comes to startup and entrepreneurship? I can tell you it does inspire me. I don't know about you, but at least it inspires me. That Netflix started off with something very, very simple. They used to be a VHS rental. I think most of you probably don't know what VHS is, but it was the media before DVD and CDs and so on. And you have companies such as Blockbuster and quite a few. I don't know in Vietnam if there were video rentals, something like that. But around the world, there were VHS rentals back in the 80s and the early 90s. And then they basically evolved into DVD rentals.
I think.
Go ahead.
What inspired me is that Netflix not only like provide movie for a customer, but they have like their specific series, like many famous series like Stranger Things or Black Mirror. Like they not only provide movie from other resources, but they produce movie themselves. and it cannot sell from other website.
I mean, I get your point. I mean, I think what you try to say, to see if I can try to interpret what you're trying to say, is that Netflix, compared to other companies, has reinvented themselves quite multitude of times. Yeah, like any startups, every 2 or 3 years, basically Netflix become a new company themselves. You know, before they were video rental, VHS, pretty much stores, high street stores, and so on. Then they became DVD rental through the snail mail, through the postage, and so on. Then they became online media through subscription. Then they reinvented themselves again. Now they become a movie or even production company as well. So they are competing with Warner Brothers and the Hollywood and so on as well. So every few years or so, yeah, Netflix reinvent themselves, and they continually try to reinvent themselves. It's a continual startup. Every few years or so, they become a new startup in a new area. If anything, those kind of things, it's very, very inspiring. I mean, most of us, or most of you in general, don't even have a single startup, or even try to start a single startup. Whereas Netflix, how many startups every few years they start a new one? Yeah, so they're not afraid. They take risks. They're willing to take risks. They're willing to venture into the unknown as well. They're willing to push the frontiers, as they say. Okay, let's move on to the next speaker. Let me quickly check, see who it is. Next speaker is Lai Min Hong, Rolex. Are you there? Mr. Lai Min Hong. Let's check the list of people. Lai Min Hong. He may not be online, seems like. We'll move on to the next speaker. Next in the list is Vang Hui Khoi, who's going to do LinkedIn. Vang Hui Khoi, are you there? No? We'll move on to the next speaker. The next speaker is Nicole Stoll, who's going to do...
Yes, hello, teacher. I have currently a little problem with my computer, but I wanted to present. Is it okay when I present it like 30 minutes?
Okay, we'll move on to the next speaker and then we'll come back to you, okay?
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna hurry. Thanks.
Okay, the next speaker in the list is Nguyen Hai An. Is Nguyen Hai An here? Any of the other speaker here? Lê Minh Hùng, Vân Huy Khôi, Nguyễn Hải Anh. Okay, if none of the other speakers are available, we'll move on to other topics, and then we'll come back to Nicole Stoll to do Absolute Vodka afterward. Okay, so before we move back to presentation, we'll move on to a different topics, which should be relatively quite short. Let me just check the time. It is 2 p.m. at the moment. So we'll switch over to, it's quite surprising that none of you has covered any apps like TikTok or various different Android and iOS apps, because we're going to move to talk about or even do our own Android apps next. Okay, let me just share with you my screen. Okay, we'll move on to lecture number 7, and we will do our own Android apps. Yeah, in general, most of you are from the School of Business, so most of you think that you cannot do your own Android apps like the TikTok or whichever apps you tend to prefer to use on your mobile phones. I use a lot to do with YouTube and email and quite a few other apps as well, especially do e-commerce. When I shop to Shopee or Lazada or Tiki and so on, in general, I tend to not use much when it comes to my laptop or computer. In the past, maybe I've used a lot more. But in general, more recently, most of my e-commerce and so on tends to be done over my mobile apps. As well as a lot of my media, when I do consume media, such as YouTube and other form of media, I tend to watch it on, including Netflix as well. I tend to watch it on my Android apps or on my mobile phones as well. I think most of you tend to use or familiar with TikTok and YouTube and various different other apps which you tend to use on a regular basis on your mobile phone. And so today we'll try to cover, and hopefully I will show you how simple it is to write your own Android apps. Yeah, even you from School of Business, or most of you tend to be from School of Business, are more than capable of doing your own Android app. What we use is this particular service here, App Inventor, MIT App Inventor. You can do the same for iOS as well. You can use Thinkable, which is another service which from the same author, Thinkable. Let me just have a look. Thinkable. Thinkable is from the same author or creator as MIT App Inventor. But with Thinkable, whatever you do, you can pretty much do it on Android as well as iOS. So for those who are interested in doing iOS apps, you can do it through Thinkable. App Inventor and Thinkable are pretty much the same thing. It's from the same author anyhow. So if you're familiar with using App Inventor, which we will use today, then you should be more than familiar with Thinkable when it's come to do your own iOS apps. So App Inventor is relatively quite straightforward to use, but it's quite surprisingly very, very powerful indeed. Typically, most people who use App Inventor are kids between the age of 5 into their teens, but even professional nowadays will use App Inventor to prototype their apps. And you can pretty much do a very quick prototype of an Android apps in a very short period of time. Today, we'll do an Android app maybe in 5 or 10 minutes, which is quite surprisingly fast. And that's why a lot of professionals even use App Inventor nowadays as well. So we jump into App Inventor. Once you type in, once you click on the link, you jump into this page. And there's a button called Create Apps. You press on Create Apps. It will jump into the app creation screen. You need a Gmail account. So I can log in with my Gmail account. You can see I've done many apps here. Let's start from the beginning. Let's start a new project. Let's switch to my project first. So once you have a lot of apps, and eventually you guys will have more and more apps because it's so simple to do it on App Inventor. That's why. So let's start a new app. I'll call it Fly2. Once you create a new app, you jump into the screen. So here's your mobile phone. The app can be a number of different things. It doesn't have to be mobile phones. You can do things for tablets as well, or even Chromebooks by choosing the different screens available. But for today, we will just do it on a simple mobile phone. Yeah, so I choose mobile phones. They are 500 pixel by 320 pixel. Very simple screen. I want to remove this screen 1 initially. So I click on screen 1, scroll down. I can see show, let's see, title visible. So I remove title. And you see the screen disappear. Okay, so I'm starting from scratch. It's a blank screen. I want to design an app to be able to view and even do e-commerce on my website. So let's say I have a website, Lava Tech. We'll go into Lava Tech, see what it looks like. Lava Tech is just a website. It has various different link to home, blog, jobs, contact. It can be e-commerce as well. This is a biotech kind of website which deals with organic fertilizers and organic recycling. You know, there's me in the corner there. So we'll try to have an app that uses this particular website, or an app which goes to this particular website. And it should be available for you to go into, to do blogging or jobs, or even to do e-commerce on here as well. So we'll create an app on Android, which will utilize all the functions on this particular screen. Don't forget, this screen, this website is mobile compatible as well. So if I can switch over to mobile, so I can go to more maybe developer tools, and I switch over to mobile size. Where is it? So you see that the app, let's just close this. Oops. The website is compatible with mobile phones. So all I need to do is just create an app which goes to this website, and it should be compatible with the website as well. So what do I do? What do I need to do? I need a website. I need a browser on this screen. And I can see on my left-hand side, there is many widgets, from button to checkbox to date picker to image. There's quite a few. I will use web viewer. Web viewer is just a web client. And I will point the web viewer to Lava Tech. Yeah, so I drag web viewer and then I drop it into my mobile phone. So now I have a web viewer. I can select web viewer and I can paste in the website. Yeah, so I want to paste in Lava Tech website. Yeah, so when I open up this app, it will go directly to lavatech.com, and I can use it just like a website. I mean, a browser, like on Safari on iOS, or like the Samsung browser on Samsung phones. But I want to have an icon on my phone as well. So I can always upload an icon. So let's use an icon which LavaTech has already. Let's just take this one here. So I'll save that image. And then I do or create a icon, Android icon. Create app icon. Maybe not that one. App icon generator. I upload the Sorry about that. I got cut off for some reason. I think my internet somehow got cut off. Can you hear me though? Hello?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, we'll continue with the apps itself. I think my computer got restarted for some reason as well. So we continue from where we left off, okay? So Android apps, I dragged the web viewer onto my mobile phones. So now I have a web viewer here. And then I basically try to create an icon for the web viewer. So where is icon? It's probably still here. Let's see, it was connected. App icon. So I just need to upload the logo. So upload, open, upload, generate icon. I want Android apps icon. So it's generated.
Teacher,
and it's,
I can see your screen.
Sorry about that. Let me just show you my screen now. Apologies. Okay, can you see my screen? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I upload, let me just refresh this and start again on the app icon. So I just need to go to app icon generator. Maybe I don't need iPhones or iPad or Watch OS or even Mac OS. I just want to generate Android icon. So I'll upload my logo, Lava Tech logo. So upload, generate, and it will create a zip file for me, which is downloaded already. So I unzip this. In the folder, there are quite a few different icons. So you can see here, app icon. So it's going to be this logo. It's going to appear on my phone, okay? So I'll upload this logo. App Store, I want Play Store actually. Upload this Play Store logo onto my app. So I switch back to the app. I can upload file, choose file, app icon, Play Store icon, open, and it will upload a file for me. Yeah, so give it a short while to upload. And it should appear here. Yeah. So I can choose an icon for my apps to be the Play Store or the Lava Tech icon. Click on OK. So when I compile it, the icon which appears on my screen on my phone will be the Lava Tech icon. Next, I want some button as well. Maybe I want two buttons. I'll drag a button across, put it here. I will label this button as back, yeah, for going back one page. So don't forget that Lava Tech has link, yeah. So if I click on blog, for example, I need to be able to go back one page to my home page, for example. So I need to press back to go back one page. I don't need to use forward button, but at least I need the back button itself. So I'll create a back button. So I drag a button onto here, and I will label it as back. Yeah, so here is the label. Goes back. So you can see it's updated the lettering on here. And maybe I need another button to go to my home page as well. If I go through quite a few page already, I want to jump back to home. So I will drag another button onto here, change this to home. And you see it update to home. But I want the button to be side by side rather than on top of each other. So I can go to layout, there's layout here, and choose a horizontal arrangement. I'll drag horizontal arrangement. I'll put it here. I'll put back into the horizontal arrangement, and then I'll put home into horizontal arrangement as well. Yeah, so you got back button and you got a home button, and you got a web page as well. And you have the icon or the figure for the on the screen of my Android phone. But not only that, when I open it up, it will jump straight to this lavatech.com as well. So at the moment, these back button I haven't really told back button to do anything yet. So I need to be able to change these buttons to do something. So when someone press on back, it needs to do something. And when someone press on home, it needs to do something as well. So that's why I need to do a little bit of programming. I wouldn't call it programming. It's more to do with drag and drop blocks across. So I can see button 1, which is the back button, button 2 is the home button, and the web viewer is this object here. And each one of these objects has various different functions associated with it. So I want to do something with the back button. So when the back button, button 1, is clicked, then it should do something. Yeah, so I'll drag this, drop it here. So when someone press the back button or click the back button, I want it to go back one web page. Yeah, so I go to web viewer. I want the web viewer to go back one page. So I can see here, core web viewer, go back one page. So I'll drag this and I'll drop into here. And that's it. When someone press the back button, the web viewer will go back one page. I want to do the same for the home button as well. The home button is button 2. So when button 2 is pressed, I want the web viewer to go to the home page. So I go to URL lavatech.com. Yeah, so I need to plug something in here to force it to go to lavatech.com. So that's going to be a text. Yeah. This object here. So I just need to paste the lavatech.com in. So this is lavatech.com. Control copy. And then paste it into here. Paste. Yeah. So when someone presses on the home button, the web viewer will go to the home page. Yeah, and I'm done, and that's it. Switch back to designer mode, and all I need to do is switch back and forth between here. And I have an app, an Android app, yeah, which has a working back button. When I press back button, you'll go back one page. When I press on home button, it will go to lavatech.com. Whatever web page it goes to, it will display it into this screen here. By default, it will jump to the screen initially, which is lavatech.com. It will also have an icon as well, which is my my Lavatech logo. Yeah, so pretty much everything is done here. So all I need to do is build an Android apps APK, and that's it. And then I install the APK or upload the APK into Play Store, or the iOS version, the IPK into App Store, for example. And then anyone around the world can download my apps and install my apps. and they will see an icon. They click on the icon, it will jump straight into lavatech.com. And if lavatech.com has e-commerce and so on, they can use it like an e-commerce app. So give it a short while, it's pretty quick. You can see here, it's finished downloading, compiling already, and it allows me to download the APK app itself. So I can download the apps, I can install the apps. This is a Mac, so I cannot install on this. I can send this APK file to my mobile phone, and then I can install this onto my mobile phones. Let's see if I can do that now. So I have an app on my phones called MIT App Inventor Companion. I open up the companion and I just scan the QR code which is generated here. So let me see. Turn on Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is on. Companion, give me a short while. Scan QR code. QR code scan. So I'm currently I scanned the QR code, so it's currently opening it up now. Give me a short while it downloads the APK. When I download the APK, I can install the APK. So it's currently installing the APK itself. Let me just show you. Let's see, caption off. APK. Blocked by Play Protect. I don't want it to be blocked. I'll unblock it, install anyway. So it's currently installing the apps itself. Let me just focus. It has been installed. Let's see if I can see the icon. It's called Fly. You should be able to see the icon there, right at the top. Let you focus. Then I start the apps itself. And it should go to the website. So it's loading the website now. It's backward because it's using the camera. So I'll click on a web page on here. Go to blog. Yeah, you can see go blog. If I go back one page, I press back. You can see it goes back one page itself. So let's go forward a few pages. Let's go into blog. Go to the first article. Yeah, so this is the first article. And when I click home, it should go back to the home page. So you can see it's working well. And it took me about 5 minutes to do an apps. Yeah. So in general, writing Android apps and so on, you don't need to have an IT degree or know anything about programming. A lot of these things, you just drag and drop and then label things, label various functions within the functions itself. So let me just switch back to my screen again. So you see it's quite quick to do Android apps. It's the same for iOS apps as well. With Thunderbolt, it's pretty much the same thing. You drag and drop, and then you give different options to each of these objects. And then you do a bit of block programming by drag and drop the various different blocks. It's a bit like Lego. Each object has certain amount of functions available to it, and you drag and drop these blocks. For example, if an error occurs, then do something like print or even go to an error page, for example. So in general, it tends to be relatively quite straightforward, and a lot of things are pretty much done for you within these block programming and so on as well. And in general, this particular websites are designed for kids between the age of 5 and in their early teens itself as well. But in general, even professionals do it because it's so quick. I can do a quick prototype of a apps in 5 or 10 minutes or so. The app inventors have access to all the sensors on your phone as well. So if you want access to your sensors, such as accelerometers and GPS and mapping and all sorts of different sensors which are available on your phone, it is all available here. Yeah, so you have access to your accelerometers, barcode scanner or QR scanner, barometers, clock, gyroscopes, hydrometers, light meters, for your compass, magnetic field sensors, near field, the NFC near field scanner, pedometers, proximities, thermometers, and so on as well. It has access to mapping and GPS and so on as well. So you have mapping as well. You can do your own Grab or even Zalo apps in not so in a very short period of time. So the majority of apps in general tends to be very, very simple. You know, so for example, if I want to do map instead of a website, I can just do the same thing. I can just drag and drop it across. So maybe I don't need this a web viewer anymore. So I can delete the web viewer and switch over to Google Maps itself and do my own equivalent of Grab, ride sharing apps and so on. I can paste in a default GPS coordinate. So let's do that anyway. Let's just show you how quickly you can do these things. Map Google. What is my current GPS? Let's go to Ho Chi Minh City. So where am I at the moment? I'm in this particular location at the moment. Wang Chum Software City. No, that's not Wang Chum Software City. Where is Wang Chum Software City? Is up here. I'm right here, so I double click here. I should see the corner here. So let's choose this corner. Control copy over to here and paste it here. Yeah, so this is centering coordinates. So it's going to home in on Guangzhou Software City. Yeah, so let's do that. Let's compile and see if it works. So it should home in. When I start the apps, yeah, it should open up the apps and home in on Guangzhou Software City. Yeah, and then from there I can add other functions to it as well. When I switch to blocks, I can see map here, and when I click on map, it allows me to do different things. Move things around and so on as well on here. So let's do that anyway. Let's see if it actually loads up Google Map or the equivalent of Google Maps and pretty much center in on Guangzhou Software City. So it's done. So all I need to do is just do a Android app compile. And then I scan the QR code like I did earlier. Give it a short while to compile. I think there's a lot of people on the server maybe, so it's taking a while to compile. It's a bit slower. It's compiling part 2 now. It's a bit slow. Maybe too many people on the server at the moment. It's 50% already. Okay, we'll finish the map first, and then we'll start back on the presentation for Nicole. Okay, it's done. So you're welcome to download the apps and install it on your own phones by just scanning the QR code itself. Let me just scan the QR code. It's scanned. I'll download it and install it. Okay, it's downloaded now, I'm installing it now. Setting, okay, install, okay. Oh, I need to delete the previous app. So give me a moment while I delete the previous app. Because it's called the same thing, Fly 2. I haven't really changed the name, so I need to delete it first and then install the new apps. And remove shortcut. Fly app. Uninstall. Okay, then install the new one. Where is the new apps now? Let me just download it again. Companion. Scan QR code. It's not scanning for some reason. What is that? Scan QR code. Okay, something's happening. Download. Download. Open file. Allow unknown sources. Okay. Install. It's installing. Install anyway. So currently it is installing. Let it focus. It's finished installing. So don't send. Open up the apps. Oh, somehow it's not going to. Well, you can see it's not big enough. Yeah, but you can see it's pretty much home in on the Guangzhou Software City, which is right there. Yeah, so it's in the right corners, but I did not tell it to span the whole screen or take up the whole screen. So it's a mistake. It only took me a short while to fix that issue anyhow. So when I go back to here, I can see height and width. Yeah, I want it to take the whole screen. So fill parent, okay, and also the width fill parents, okay. Then it will take up the whole screen. Then it should be able to zoom in on Guangzhou Software City. So it should look something similar to this. Yeah. Earlier, I did not resize the width and the height of the map. It allows me to do GPS as well. Anyhow, this Nicole is ready, so we will jump back to the presentation. Nicole, please, can you share your presentation?
Yes, one second. Now you can see my presentation, right?
It's loading now. Give it a short while. Ooh. Let me just zoom in on yours. Yes, I can see your presentation now.
Okay, so welcome to my presentation about the brand Absolute Vodka. So today I'm going to talk quickly about history inspired by... sorry, was there something? No, everything is good, right? So inspired by the marketing strategy, I did a SWOT analysis, the international market, and in the end we're going to see the conclusion. So first, the history about Absolute Vodka. Absolute Vodka brand was introduced in 1979. It was part of the Swedish-owned Wine and Spirit company, so it was not a public company in that time. And it has the brand itself has a really historical shape, which is based on a story of a pharmacist from the 16th century, where he reused the shape of that penicillin
bottle and just changed the neck, but like the face, the head of the person is still the old Swedish king until nowadays on the bottle brand. And the head office is in Stockholm.
Sorry, Nicole. Are you changing your slides? I
Not
cannot
yet,
see
no.
your slide changing. Not yet. Okay.
Do you see history of Absolute?
I see the first slide still. Oh, now I see the history now. Okay.
You see that?
Yes. I see that now.
But it should be like 1 second,
Okay.
sorry.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
I can
sorry.
see history of Absolute now.
So now you can see history,
Yeah.
right? Sorry, so it was not changing correctly. So yeah, I was about the head office is still in Stockholm in Sweden, and it's nowadays it's presented in 130 markets in the world. They also introduced a lot of different kind of flavor. It's not just straight vodka. You also can buy like lemon flavored vodka or other kinds of flavors nowadays, and to bigger their portfolio. And in 2008, they become part of the Pernod Ricard group. They purchased that for 5.3 billion euros. And Pernod Ricard group is one of the biggest group for spirits. And their direct competitor is Diageo Group, and they own the vodka brand, which is the market leader, that's called Smirnoff. So what's the market strategy of Absolut Vodka? So now they try to get bigger and being more introduced in the USA and in Canada, because this is a good market with a lot of customers who are like open to consume alcohol. And so before they did this step, they did a lot of research, especially in different demographic and geographical segmentations. So they did research like where is it mostly consumed vodka, and there's a study that it's more consumed in colder areas than in hot areas. So it's not really a drink for the hot areas, so there's a higher market change for them. And they mainly use like distribution channels like hotels, restaurants, and cafes and cafeterias to make them more popular and more exclusive. Because you have to know, Absolut Vodka is on the price range. It's higher than its direct competitor Smirnoff, so it's counts as a higher quality vodka. And so the price is quite high compared to other branding. And they also did a big analysis of the customer's age, and they found out like a lot of customers are between 15 and 50 years old. So this is their main target group who they're gonna reach for. And then we wanted to see the SWOT. They presented in the strengths like 130 countries and already number 2 in the world. And they are, as I said before, part of this big group, Pernod Ricard. And they proposed so many different flavors, and they have that such kind of strong marketing strategy, and always do an analysis before they enter a new market. In their weakness, they are higher than their direct competitors, Smirnoff. And also in Eastern Europe, there are so many small located brands that they only have 1.3% of the market share, because Eastern Europe is full of a lot other small and local brands. But Eastern Europe is also one of the biggest consumer groups of vodka. So the opportunity they have that they can enter the Eastern Europe market even more, but then there's always still the price problem. And East Asian market is increasing wealth, and so they might be open more for premium vodka. So it would be a new opportunity for them to sell it. And they're also going the F&B market. So that's like the flavored market as well, where they can flavor vodka and sell it on lower percentages to younger customers. Another threat is like the biggest competitor, Smirnoff, and there's a stagnation in the US market because there's a trend for a more healthy lifestyle, which is promoted, and not so much drinking nowadays. And yes, what I learned, so in my conclusion for this company is that you should have always a clear branding and marketing strategy. And for that, you first need to analyze the demographic and geographic segmentation to know your right targets, who do you want to sell to. Good pricing can be crucial, and this is also part of maybe why Absolute Vodka is second and not first, but they're still doing a good job in the market. And yes, know your market position and learn from your mistakes. So always analyze your market before, so you can be safer. And then we have a group discussion if you want to. So do you think this brand can extend to the market in Asia? Do you think it will be something you would be successful in Vietnam?
Is that it, Nicole?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't want to discuss it, that's no problem. Then thanks for your attention, guys. Okay.
Yeah, we want to discuss it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
What was the first comment?
this one.
Do the one?
Yeah.
Do you think brand can extend market to Asia? Of course, but let me ask you a few questions first. Do you drink Absolute?
Yes.
What does it taste like?
Like strong vodka.
Do you drink Smirnoff?
Yes, I tried both.
What's it taste like?
Well, I don't see such a high difference in these two.
Exactly. Do you drink Grey Goose?
Yeah, I think I.
It's very expensive, isn't it? What does it taste like?
For me, it also tastes the same, but they are like specialists who feel like there's a difference.
They are. That's quite surprising. The vodka, they all taste the same, pretty much. It's just mainly alcohol. Maybe there are some flavor, except for the flavored vodka, which is separate. I'm talking about just pure vodka. In general, pure vodka, they all almost taste the same.
Yeah,
especially put a lot of ice in it, it tastes like water.
Yeah, this is probably why in Eastern Europe the big brands are not that popular, because they choose their own brands.
So what do you think is the difference between, say, Grey Goose and, say, Absolute Vodka?
Well, for me, the difference is only the marketing, the image it promotes, if you drink it or not. I don't think there's such a big difference in the taste.
Exactly. Yeah, it is marketing. It's a lot of other products around the world is very similar. It's not about the product itself. Yeah, most of it is to do with marketing. Yeah, it's like the difference between Coca-Cola and maybe Pepsi, for example. Yeah. Maybe there are very few of us can differentiate between the two of them, but there are very few people like that. But in general, it's just the image and the marketing mainly. So your discussion, do you think the brand can extend to market in Asia? I'm sure that it's a possibility. In Vietnam, we do drink vodka as well. We have our own vodka. There's two main brands. I think there's Hanoi vodka, and then I think there's Saigon vodka, and there's one or two other vodka. But in general, in a lot of the bars, they do sell Absolut. Everything, Absolut is the lowest price of all the drinks available in general. Most bars I go to anyway. So they are available, but in general, it's the low cost or low value version in most bars in Ho Chi Minh City. In terms of your second discussion round, what does Absolut Vodka need, in your opinion, to be successful in Vietnam? It needs a lot of marketing, so it needs a huge amount of marketing. It's successful in Europe and so on because of marketing. So in Vietnam, it wants to be successful in Vietnam. Lots and lots of marketing. Try to market itself as a premium in general, because there are vodka already in Vietnam, much cheaper. But if you want to be able to compete at its current price and so on, it needs to focus more on its marketing.
Yes, I would agree with you when it comes to marketing here. Well, I haven't been out because of COVID here in Vietnam to too many bars, so I was not able to see like the assortment here, but I haven't seen it in supermarkets here.
No, it doesn't sell in the supermarket. In general, you go to the Western bars in Hue Binh and a few of the other bars around Saigon. It's going to be the cheapest option which you get if you want to get a bottle of any kind of alcohol. In general, in Vietnam and Southeast Asia, in general, the most successful drinks are the really expensive whiskies and so on, yeah, from Scotland and so on. Asian and so on, they like expensive drinks. That's not a major issue. But the image, the whiskies are making the images in general, and in general, Absolut in general tends to be the lowest cost in most bars that I've been to anyway.
Okay, but that is interesting that in Vietnam the people are also want to have high priced for the image and not just for
exactly. It's mainly to do with that. Most people drink in Vietnam. If you do go out drinking with people in Vietnam, it's not about the drinks itself. It's not about the taste. It's about the price.
Yeah.
The price is a lot more important, or the image is a lot more important. They don't appreciate the drinks for the taste and so on. If you do go out drinking with other Vietnamese, then you realize that say a 24 years bottle of a very expensive whiskey, say, yeah, they will down it all in one sitting. Not because of it tastes good, anything like that. It's more of a masculine thing, and because it's expensive. Yeah. And then they will vomit it all out later on as well. On top of that. Yeah. It's typical. Asia is that kind of thing. Yeah. It's not like in Russia or in Europe itself. But in general, in terms of, I mean, the Absolut's been around quite a long time. Yeah. But what about startup or entrepreneurship do Absolut has inspired you to do?
You mean like what kind of startup? For startups, what I learned here is like they do a really critical research before they introduce anything in the market. So this is like important for startups. First, do your researches on your target groups and what's important for them, and then you can enter the market.
I mean, the way in which I see Absolut is not a new brand itself. It's more of a recent brand, at least in the 1990s or the late 1980s. It's became to make known of itself in general. and it's to do with it's mainly it's marketing. I mean, like you kind of said earlier, that most vodka tastes almost the same anyway. Is the image which is more important? Is the marketing which is more important? It's the same for startups and so on. When you first start, you're unknown, but if you focus on marketing and so on, brand and image, it becomes recognized, and then you grow your market from there. Okay, let's move on. Any question from any of the other students on Absolut Vodka? No? Okay, if there's no, hang on. What did you say?
Oh, I said thank you and sorry for the delay.
No problem, no problem. So we'll move on. We move on in terms of giving the class score in terms of quality of presentation. So let me just switch to the spreadsheet. Okay, we'll give the quality of presentation to each of the presenters, yeah, for those who present anyway. So we do a raise of hand. Yeah, I'll go through 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, 4 point, 5 points, up to 5 points. And we'll do a show of hands, yeah, in terms of how much quality score do you give each of the various different speakers. So we'll start off with the first speaker, which was Nguyễn Nhật Quang, who did a talk on Adidas. Yeah. So show of hands. Yeah, in terms of the you know, raise your hand, lower your hand, that kind of thing. So raise your hand if you want to give Adidas talker speaker 1 point. 2 points. 1 person. 3 points. 4 points. 5 points. Yeah, I raised my hand as well. So majority given Nguyễn Nhật Quang 5 points. So let me just update. 5 points.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Congratulations, Mr. Wang. And the next speaker was Ngô Ngọc Thảo, who did a talk on Apple. Hands up who wants to give Apple talk 1 point. 2 points. 3 points. 4 points. 5 points. Okay, 6 vote for 5 points. So, Ms. Tao, you managed to receive 5 points. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
The next speaker was Cao Huỳnh Minh An, who did a talk on Netflix. Hands up who wants to give 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, 4 points, 5 points. Hang on, 4 points is 5 points. let me do it again. I think there was misunderstanding. Okay, hands up. Who wants to give the Netflix speaker 4 points? one person, 2, 3, 4, 6, 5 points. So 5, so 6 has it. Miss Min An, you managed to receive 4% points for quality. And lastly, the last speaker was Nicole Stoll, who did a talk on Absolute Vodka. Hands up for 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, 4 points, 5 points. Okay, majority of people given 5 points. So we'll put in 5 points here. Okay, have I missed anyone out? Is Lai Minh Hùng or Văn Huy Khôi, or Miss Nguyen Hải Anh? Are you there? No? Okay, so they missed their opportunity anyhow. Yeah. Let me just check the time. The time is 3:10. Yeah. In terms of doing Android apps and so on, you see it's relatively quite straightforward to do quite complicated apps and so on. In general, you can do ride-sharing apps. You can have database. You can do e-commerce or m-commerce. You can do a lot of different things. In general, the difficulty is your imagination. In general, yeah. So apps, there's plenty of apps out there, but not all apps are successful. Yeah, the successful apps in general are very few and far in between. I mean, most of the time, most of you probably use only 3 or 4 apps in general, maybe Netflix or YouTube or your phone or your Zalo or one of the messengers and so on, or even the Grab and the Grab app as well. Yeah, when you do the ride sharing things. Yeah. In general, successful apps, there are plenty of apps around. The successful apps is about good kind of thought or figure out the market, what they want and so on, and then supply to the market what they want in general. So in general, apps is not that difficult to do. Yeah? The difficulty not lies in doing an app. You just pretty much saw me doing a website apps in 5 minutes, and a mapping app. There's also GPS and so on in just an extra 1 or 2 minutes as well. So the difficulty is not there in general. The difficulty is having the good ideas when it comes to apps or successful apps. And don't forget, in this course, you need to do an apps and submit in as part of your eBiz Hub business plan. So let's quickly go through this. Anyway, I don't think there's anything new in here, but we'll just go through just to remind ourselves what App Inventor is all about. Yeah, App Inventor is when you first started. It will allow you to open up into this screen where you can create a new projects. You type in the name for the new projects itself. On the screen, there's a few different areas. In the middle is where your mobile phones or your tablets or even your Chromebook, which you can choose. And towards the right, that's where you find all your widgets, which you can drag and drop into your mobile phones or your tablets. With the right-hand side, this is where all you can define what your widget's going to do, such as changing the title, changing the size of your widget, location, and so That's where all the property of your widgets is or reside. Yeah. And then right at the corner, you can switch between block or designer mode. With block mode, you can put into a certain block functions to allow your widget to do certain things in a programmatic kind of way, such as what we kind of did with our back button. When someone click on the back button, we just go back one page, for example. So this is the block mode. It's drag and drop. It's just like Lego. Yeah. So each of your object which you drag in your phone has different functions, and all the functions are listed once you click on each one of these objects. So you just go back and remind yourself when we switch over to block. Our button has a number of different functions, and all the functions are listed here. You can drag these functions and drop it onto your canvas, and then by plugging each one of these functions together, you create some kind of program. It's relatively quite straightforward in the sense that it's very similar to Wix or even Word or PowerPoint. You drag in objects across and you just plug them together in the right way. And you can switch between these two, blocks and designer mode, to change your apps around. On the block designer mode, you have all the functions of each one of these blocks where you can drag and drop. Here is where the canvas is. By plugging in, and it's like Lego in the sense certain things can only plug onto other things. As for example, let's look at this button here, for example. You can see it's a straight line with a round at the top. Yeah, so not everything can fit into here. So for example, earlier we were using text as this particular blocks here. It cannot fit into here, so it will not go. Yeah, I can drag and drop it here, but you won't hear a click. That will not fit because it can only fit in an area or hole which has this this peg, yeah, which you can go in. So hence earlier, what we kind of seen is that it will fit into. Let's drag back at the web widget. Let's do that. We'll plug into here. Yeah. So half page is web, half page is map. With web, we were using this particular block here. You can see with this block, there's a little gap here. It can only fit into button here. And then you have a little wedge here, which this can only fit into. Yeah. So it's like Lego, only certain things can fit into each other. And you can have multiple things as well. I can do copy and paste, copy, paste, paste. You can have more than one. So this one does not go in here. It's asking for a number. So this is a text, so it's not a number. So I need to fit in a number into a variable, for example. So by looking at, it's difficult to go wrong because if it does not fit in, it will not go. Yeah, you will not be able to get that click thing. Yeah, so it's difficult to go wrong here. Yeah, so it's like Lego. If there's a hole and the hole and the pointy things does not fit into the hole, then it's not going to fit in. So in general, the logics and so on are built into these things already as well. Not anything can go into each other. So it's drag and drop, but you can only fit certain blocks into each other. So it's like Lego to a certain extent. So square blocks can go into square holes, round blocks can go into round holes, for example. So what we did, we just drag and drop a web viewer, but you can drag and drop any of the other widgets onto your phone. And then we just changed various different parameters around by adding the websites as well as the size to fill the entire screen or fill half the screen. It is by changing the percentage here in terms of height and width and so on. You can divide the screen in any way which you want. You can drag in graphics and so on as well. What we did was we drag in the logo for the screen on your Android phones or even on your iOS phones as well. And we can upload graphics or even musics and sounds and so on through this particular option here. Yeah? So by doing so, we're allowed to use it and use the sound as well as the picture for various different objects up and down these different properties. Once we're done with our apps, we have like extra buttons and so on as well. So we went that few steps further by adding extra buttons. But once we finish all our apps, we just need to go and build the apps itself. So we compile the apps and then we download the apps onto our Android phone, for example. So what you kind of see here is we download an APK, and once you install the APK, you will get an app on your phone. For example, here is the eBizHub example app. What we did earlier in our example is we did a LavaTech app, so you get a LavaTech apps here on your mobile phone, for example. But once you click on your mobile phone, it should open up the website to eBizHub or LavaTech or whatever web page you created in your apps itself. For those who are interested, you can go to these links, which will have further example on how to use your or how to create your app on App Inventor. For those who are interested in doing iOS apps for your iPhones, you feel free to go to Thunkable. It's a free service. You can create your own accounts and so on. There are premium services as well, but in general, you can write your own apps for free on Thunkable. It's from the same author as App Inventor. So if you know how to use App Inventor, Thunkable should be very, very similar. Yeah. So very similar. You have like a phone here, property over here, and then widget over here. So it's drag and drop, change properties and so on to do whatever you need it to do. Typically every year, once you finish writing your apps, I will give you an account where you can log on to Google Play Store and upload your app to Google Play Store. So here are some example of previous Play Store or eBizHub apps. So eBizHub Play Store. So here are some of the apps which previous years has created. Once you create your apps, similar to what we've kind of seen here with App Inventor, you will get given an account where your group can upload your apps into Google Play Store. Once it's uploaded to Google Play Store, anyone around the world can download and utilize your app. Yeah. So feel free to go to Google Apps if you want to see some examples. Be careful, some people have used, I think there was one group which did a business on aquarium, And they had a logo which has Nemo. Yeah, you know Nemo? Let me see. Google Nemo. Yeah, one of the student had, or one group had this picture as the icon for the apps itself. If you have that, yeah, and Google will scan it as a copyright material, and it will ban your app from Play Store. Yeah, so be careful with that. In general, you either use your own graphics and so on, and not infringe on other people's graphics, such as Nemo, for example. So be careful with that when you do your apps and upload it to Google Play Store. If you have copyrighted materials, then Google will pretty much ban the apps. That's why you don't see the Nemo logo anywhere here. It's been banned. Okay, any question on Android apps? If there's no question on Android apps and so on, you can see it's relatively quite straightforward. The difficulty is not creating your apps, it's about designing your apps. You have to do some kind of useful or popular thing. Another difficulty is not simple when you upload it. Once you've done your apps and so on, the process to upload it into Play Store can be complicated as well, which you will find out later on. Because all groups is to upload their apps into Google Play Store as well. If there are no questions, thank you very much for the presentation and doing my work for me, I mean, in terms of teaching the class and so on. Thank you for that, for those students who presented. If there are no more questions, I think we'll finish here. I mean, we'll finish a little bit early. It's 3:30 now. If there are no questions, we'll finish here then. Okay, bye-bye, everyone.
Goodbye, teacher.
Bye-bye.